Okay, welcome back dear students. So now we are going to continue the concept of yesterday's class. That class should be the process of genetic engineering. In that process we already discussed the 3 steps. What are those 3 steps? The first step should be isolation of genetic material. This isolation of genetic material should be in the pure form. It will be free from macro particles like RNA, proteins, lipids, polysaccharides. If you want to free from those macromolecules, you must be add the addition of chilled ethanol to that isolation form. Then it become a pure form. And second steps, in that second steps we discussed about the cutting of that DNA molecules in a specific location. That specific location must be in the sticky ends by using the REN enzymes. By using REN enzymes, we are going to cut the specific location of DNA segments that should be making in the form of small fragments. And in the third steps, we are going to using the gel electrophoresis techniques. Why we are using gel electrophoresis technique? This technique is useful for the separation of DNA fragments into the size wise by adding agarose gel. When you going to add the agarose gel in the gel electrophoresis plate, then the smaller the fragments are moved towards the negative anode anodes, and another one is that the almost larger they will be stay in the positive cathodes. So like that, there is the smaller and larger, we make it a separated by using the gel electrophoresis technique. These 3 steps we already discussed in last class. Then come the continuous steps in recombinant DNA technology. So before that, I will be give an idea about the explanation of diagrammatic representation. In the diagram, what you know, the first one we are going to take a foreign DNA. That foreign DNA is nothing but a desired gene, and under we are having our one artificial DNA molecules, that's we call it is a plasmid, that is nothing but a vector. Here we are using the vector like a PBr322. Okay, this is the DNA and this is the PBr322 plasmid. So by using the REN enzymes, we cut into the smaller fragments. Here plasmid also going to cut it at a one end in a specific location towards the sticky sides. This REN is cut the fragments. In the process of gel electrophoresis, we can separate the fragments in the larger size and smaller size. Then the another enzyme, that enzyme is called as a DNA ligase enzyme. When you union of these 2 foreign DNA and plasmid DNA, then the combined form of molecule is called as a hybrid DNA. This hybrid DNA is also called as a rDNA or chimeric DNA, or it's also nothing but a mosaic DNA. When there is the union of foreign DNA and that is the artificial DNA molecule, that is circular DNA, that is nothing but a plasmid. When combined, there is the formation of the hybrid DNA molecules, and those breaking strands of both, that's the plasmid, will be joined by the enzyme. That enzyme is called as a DNA ligase. The ligase joins foreign DNA into the plasmid. That foreign DNA fragments into the plasmid. Then this whole plasmid is become a recombinant formed, not a original form. The original form of plasmid is look like this one. But this is the recombinant, because in that there is the insertion of fragments of foreign DNA takes place. After that, this recombinant or hybrid DNA will be inserted into the bacterial cell. This is called as a bacterial cell. So this bacterial cell, which bacteria it is? E. coli bacteria, because most probably the popularly in the recombination DNA technology, we are using this bacteria, E. coli bacteria, because already I told you it is undergoes to the rapid diffusion and it is very sensitive to the antibiotics, and there is the multiple copies will go into formed into that host, that is nothing but a E. coli bacteria. So due to these all reasons, we are going to take a E. coli bacteria as a host cell. Okay, then it is undergoing to the host. There is the insertion of plasmid. That process is called as a transformation. The insertion of the hybrid plasmid. That hybrid plasmid should be a recombinant form. And this hybrid plasmid along with the clones of recombinant DNA will be introduced into the E. coli bacteria. That introduced concept, we are having a 3 processes. Those 3 processes now we are going to start to discuss. What is that 3 processes? Before that process, already I discussed in last class, that is 4th step, amplification of gene of interest by using PCR. That the PCR meaning is that polymerase chain reaction. By using this type of one technique, that tube I am going to tell you, we are going to discuss about this PCR in next class. Why means it is having a lengthiest process and it also asks for you as a separately, this one asks for you as a 5 marks. Due to that reasons, you must be remember which type of the technique we are using for the making a number of copies. What is that amplification? See here, amplification of gene is a process of making of many copies of gene, not a single, same genes, same clones. Those are going to use number of multiplied, making a number of copies by using the which technique? That is called as a PCR technique. That process, what is that? Making a number of genes, that process is called as a amplification. This amplification only asks for you as a 1 mark question. What is amplification? Amplification is a process of making of number of copies of genes. Okay, so this is the 4th step. Then come dear students, what we are here, we want a transformation of this hybrid DNA into E. coli host cells. So that step is called as a insertion of rDNA into the host. What is that host? That host is called as a E. coli bacteria. How it will be inserted? In what way we can insert it? So there are 3 methods are there for insertions. So those 3 methods are nothing but the first one, electroporation. What is that? Electroporation. Second one, microinjection. Third one, biolistics. By using these 3 methods, we can insert that recombinant DNA into the E. coli host. So how it will be? We are going to transfer by these 3 methods. Come, let us, we can start with the first method, that is called as a electroporation. What we are using here? The bacterial cell placed in a solution with cold calcium chloride at 12 degrees Celsius temperature. Just think about, you are going to take a one host. What is that host? That host is nothing but a E. coli bacteria. This E. coli bacteria, you must be placed in a, what is that? Cold calcium chloride solution. The cold calcium chloride solution, you can keep that bacterial cells, must be a minimum temperature of only 12 degrees. It must be required some temperature, not completely freezing conditions, because we want to transfer the foreign DNA or foreign gene. Okay. Second point, how it will be work? It results in development of pores in a cell membrane, then recombinant plasmid migrates into the host cell and bacterial cell gets transformed. See what's going on after you are keeping that bacterial cells into a cold calcium chloride at the temperature 12 degrees Celsius, then it development a small holes, pores. If you just think about this is the bacterial cells, on that bacterial cells there is like this small pores are formed. Small pores in a cell membrane, then recombinant plasmid migrates into the host cell. Then that recombinant plasmid, this is called as a recombinant plasmid, okay na? We call it as a rDNA, okay? That recombinant plasmid migrates, movement into the where that host cell is completely called it is a bacteria, from cell membrane into the cell. Understood? Cell membrane, in the cell membrane there is the formation of pores. If the starting of the pores formation means there is the formation of the bacterial cell, that is we call it is a, that is recombinant plasmid. Then this recombinant plasmid migrates into the host cell, okay, and bacterial cell gets transformed. Then that bacterial cells will be transformed from the cell membrane into the host cell. That host cell is called as a bacteria. First it will be coming on the external layer, that is called as a cell membrane of bacteria, okay. That cell membrane of bacteria gets the formation of the pores. Then there is the formation of recombinant plasmids. That plasmid then slowly migrate towards into the cell. When it will be migrates into the cell inside, then it's undergoing to the next continue process. Due to that process, we are using which technique? That technique is called as a electroporation technique. This technique is very simple, dear students. What means? You can take what is that bacterial cell into the calcium chloride, cold calcium chloride at 12 degrees temperature. After that, what's the reversible reaction is going on there? Then on the cell membrane there is the formation of the pores. In that pores there is the formation of the recombinant plasmid. Then this recombinant plasmid slowly enter into the completely bacterial cell, nothing but in the nucleus of the bacteria. That bacteria is called as a E. coli bacteria. So like this transformation takes place from the cell membrane into the cell. This is the one technique, that is called electroporation technique. Then second technique is called as a microinjection technique. What is this microinjection? See, the direct injection of desired gene into the nucleus of an animal cell by microsyringe. By syringe, it is directly introduced. Because when we going to take the injection, that injection fluid, that's liquid, directly enter into the cell body. So like that same concept here also, another method, this is a direct method we call it is, that is called as a microinjection. Electroporation is nothing but it is an indirect method, because when there is the formation of the pores, then only there is the formation of plasmid, recombinant plasmid. After that, it will be enter into the cell. When reaches to the cell, that is our method will be completed. That's the way. Same here also. What's that in microinjection? The direct injection of desired gene. Take the desired genes. Okay, this is the gene. Take that desired gene into the injection and directly introduce into the nucleus of an animal cell. Which one we want? That host. Into that host, we can directly introduce this desired gene. If desired gene, if you introduce it directly into the animal host cell, then in the cell it will be directly enter, means then it is undergoing to the multiplication process. This is direct method by using the which one? Micro injection. Then come another methods that's we called as a biolistics. What is this biolistics? See, a suitable plant cell is bombarded with, you can take as a here plant cell is attached with, bombarded with high velocity microparticles. Here we are using the almost all high velocity of the microparticles. Those microparticles are nothing but a gold, or you can use as a tungstens. These you can use coated with DNA in order to introduce DNA into host cell. Just you can, this is the different technique compared to the electroporation and micro injection. What you are going to using, if you are going to take as a host plant cell, that plant cell which will be attached with the high velocity of microparticles. Those high velocity of microparticles are nothing but a gold, or you can use as a tungstens. These particles you can use with coated with DNA molecules, because these are also worked as an radioactive isotopes. These radioactive isotopes will going to identify the DNA molecules where it will become migrated into the cells, because these are having almost a shining concept, that's we call it is a radium. Due to that radium, these type of the isotopes we are going to using, like that isotopes here also, those are called as a gold or tungstens. These are coated with the DNA molecules in order to introduce into the host cell, DNA into the host cell. That host cell is called as a plant cell. So in the biolistics, the main important one is that you are using the high velocity of the microparticles as a gold or tungstens. These are coated. This is, if you think about, this is the gold coated with DNA molecules and introduced into the directly into the which one, host cells. Then that coated molecules is movement along with the DNA molecule. Then where it will be introduced, we can easily identify it. And this radioactive isotopes gives the power to the DNA, it directly enter into the host cells. So due to these reasons, this method also you can use the insertion of foreign DNA into the host cell. Dear students, are you understand? This is a very, very important concept. How we can inserted foreign DNA into the one host cell by using the three methods: electroporation methods, micro-injection methods, and last one, biolistics. All three methods will be different, having a different criteria. You under once time you can go and read out those aspects, then you can easily getting. Okay, na? No, I am almost all told to how to insert it. Okay, then come next step, that's sixth step, that is called as a obtaining the foreign gene product. Yeah, you can introduce into the host cell, then how you going to get those of obtaining the foreign products? We must be going to take the product, then how we are going to obtain here. The transgene expresses itself as a protein. You must remember the word here. What they given word? Transgene. What is transgene? That transfer gene. What you transfer, that is called as a rDNA, recombinant DNA or recombinant gene. That is that became as a transgene. It expresses as a protein. Which protein? Recombinant protein. How this protein is going to obtain? See here. The transgenic cells cultured in laboratory to obtain product in small scale. This is very important concept. This one and this one. Then you can use those cells of bacteria, then used in the laboratory condition under the suitable room temperature, then you are going to get the recombinant protein molecule. Means you must be cultured in laboratory condition by using the synthetic mediums. Most probably we are using the synthetic mediums as a chilled ethanols or agar-agar medium or absolute alcohols. These mediums, if you are going to use in the laboratory condition in a different ways, then you are going to get this type of the recombinant protein. That is the product we want. That should be cultured in laboratory. If you cultured in laboratory, that should be which scale? In the small scale. Yeah, we want only for one product we are going to get in the laboratory. We want to get the number of product, there is the different ways are there. That's way. Like this, you can obtain the product where you can insert it into the E. coli bacteria. Take that bacteria and cultured in the laboratory under the suitable conditions, then you are going to obtain the new product that should be in the small scale. Okay. Next, the bioreactor should be used in the large scales. Already I told you in the last class, the simple sparse reactor is there and simple stirred bioreactors. If you using these bioreactors, then you are going to get the multiple number of copies of those product which you are going to take from the laboratory. Are you understood this point? If you want laboratory, small scale. If you want large scale of those products, then you can go use in the stainless steel vessel tank, that is called as a bioreactors. Those bioreactors are used in the production should be in large scale. So, this is the sixth step of the obtaining gene product. So, here you can see when it is enter into the cell, then it is undergoing to the multiplication, then there is the number of copies will be formed. These copies will be clones you can use in the bioreactors for making a large scale. After the bioreactor, that recombinant protein undergoing to the last process, what is that? Downstreaming. In the downstreaming, what you going to do? Purifications, and then it going to enter into the commercial scale for the purpose of marketing. So, this is the way we are going to obtain the products. Then come the last process we are going to discuss. What is that? Downstream processing. This downstream processing, we are using almost all what you going to get the product. That product will be, it is as a form of antibiotics, as a form of vaccines, as any form of proteins. So many proteins, or as a metabolites, primary metabolites, acetone, ethanol, many primary metabolites are there. Those products, if you want to make it in a large scales, it must be undergoes to the various processes before it is enter into the market. What are those various processes? Those various processes nothing but a first one, separation and purification. You can take that product. Best example, that product will be a vaccine. Okay, make that vaccines will be separated, pure form. That's called as a purification. Separate that one and make it will be pure, because it should be a impure. It will be a impure means you know that how it will be separated by adding the some chilled ethanol concepts. If you adding the chilled ethanol or freezing concept, then it make as a purity forms. That is first method in downstream processing, separation and purification. And next method is that addition of certain suitable preservatives. Which type of preservatives it will be required to form as a complete pure form. Those preservatives, it is in the form of absolute alcohols or ethanols or acetones or any other microparticles, heavy particles, you can attach with them, make it as a pure form, or you can add a stain, or you can add any other beverages concepts. Then these product will become a purity, suitable preservatives by using the climatic conditions. In that only we are going to make in the purity forms. Next, quality control test. Then you must go, it's undergoing to the quality industrial way. In industrial, every product, if it is coming towards the market, before it undergoes to the quality control test. How it is quality and quantity, there only it will be going to finalizing in the downstream processes. And finally, if it is in case of drugs, it will be undergoing to the medical areas. That could be a clinical trials in case of drugs. If it is vaccine or antibiotics, tablets, capsules, syrups, then it undergoes to the pharmaceutical industries. There it will undergo to the many various processes in the clinically way. So like this type of the, after this, if it is that product will be fit, it should be purity, then it will be releasing into the marketing for the purpose of commercial scale. Like this, we are going to obtain a new product in the way of recombinant DNA technology. Like that, best example in today's generation, you are going to using the BT cottons, BT brinjols, those through the biotechnological ways, almost all products. Those are all will be formed through this process only, that is called as a recombinant DNA technology. If you make like that BT cotton, you must follow these 7 steps. Then only it is released into the marketing. So this is the complete concept about the process of genetic engineering or recombinant DNA technology. Dear students, here the completion of recombinant DNA technology. In next class, we discussed about the PCR technique. Okay, dear students, thank you.